What's going on, y'all? It's the Kid J Nolan here. Hey, man, I think Reason from TDE might have just made history last night. In my recollection, I think this is the first time that an artist has actually gone on a live stream to talk about his new project, the way that his career is going, and having a label executive from his own label come up there to tell him why he has not found the same level of success that he's looking for. This is the first time I've ever seen this on live stream on Twitch, YouTube, etc. This really harkens back to back when the Locks were on Hot 97 trying to get off a Bad Boy. They were saying how they wanted to throw a refrigerator from the top of the building and all of this type of stuff. Diddy called in and basically told them that they need to come to the office if they really want to talk business, to which they responded, bro, we've been coming up to the office. Your security never lets us in. We've exhausted all resources, which is why we're on air talking about it. You're trying to hold up our careers. We got solo deals on the table. You don't want to let us go. Or if you do want to let us go, you want to still take a hefty percentage of all the money that we're making. So this was way back in the early 2000s when that happened. I haven't seen an interaction like this happen ever since, honestly. For those of y'all that don't know who Reason is, he's a hip-hop artist, rapper signed to TDE, Top Dawg Entertainment, the same label that brought us Kendrick Lamar, Schoolboy Q, SZA, J-Rock, Doechii right now. They got also another artist over there named Ray Vaughn. I don't really know a lot about him. But nonetheless, TDE has been one of hip-hop's powerhouses over the last decade. Ever since Kendrick Lamar took off, I mean, he's one of the biggest artists, one of the top 3 or 4 artists of the last decade anyway. And he's done it by making pretty much conscious and real-life music. In this interview, we have Reason where he went on the Back on Figg show. You know, they used to be over there at No Jumper. They created their own thing after everything imploded over there at No Jumper. On Figg is definitely a West Coast staple as far as content creation goes and doing big interviews with West Coast artists and stuff like that. So it was definitely a great look to have Reason on there. He has a new album that's dropping called Porches this Friday. And one of the things that they did was ask him straight up, yo, why are you dropping this project out of nowhere? Nobody knew you had a project coming. Now all of a sudden it's dropping on Friday. Reason then responded and said he had a whole different plan for a rollout. He had a lot of things that he wished to accomplish leading up to this album. There were a lot of features that he was trying to get before the album was turned in that never got executed. He said he had a feature lined up with Lotto that fell through. He had a big feature with ESTG that fell through. They got all the way to the paperwork. They got all the way to the number of what they were going to have to pay ESTG. He's basically said that the label dragged their feet on that feature. ESTG then did a big song with Future, and by the time they doubled back, the feature price was an additional $25,000 that they were not trying to spend, so they didn't get that feature. In the interview, Reason was also asked about his relationship with the different artists on TDE. He said that he has no relationship with SZA. She's in a big corporate label. You know, I think she's over there at RCA, but of course, Top Dawg and them, they still managed. I think she's more of that type of artist, so she's not really around at the offices like that unless she needs to sign off on something, so he's not really there around her. Kendrick has already left. Schoolboy Q, you know, his heart is not necessarily fully in music. I think he does have a new project on the way, but he's been becoming a PGA star, doing a lot of stuff with the golf community. So he's found other areas to thrive in music. So he's definitely not around. Ab-Soul wasn't around for a while. J-Rock wasn't around for a while. He had that motorcycle accident. He had to recover and take care of things with his family. He's finally just now coming back out. And it seems like J-Rock is actually superseding Reason because he's got a feature out right now with Lotto and Anderson .Paak after taking a 5-year hiatus. So I do think that Reason is looking around like, damn, what's wrong with me? Why y'all don't rock with me the same way y'all do everybody else? It seems like everybody else is having motion, but when it comes to me, I'm bringing y'all music. Y'all telling me to wait. I've played y'all 3-4 EPs in the time since my last project, but I'm just not able to drop, which is something that consistently gets talked about over there at TDE, especially when it comes to SZA. Every album rollout, she's complained about not being able to drop when she was ready. Punch normally takes those hits over there. He's normally the one that engages with the crowd. However, this time around, we had Mr. Moosa from TDE actually call into the live stream, and he got straight to the point. You know, he basically said, yo, y'all sitting in this room with this man. Can y'all tell me 10 Reason songs? T-Rail from the Back on Figg show was honest. He didn't put no punches. He said no. He said, MackWop, you with the team. You with TDE. Can you name me 5 Reason songs? MackWop says, yes, I can. He said, go ahead and do it. MackWop then says, hey, bro, you tripping. I'm over here rolling up weed. I ain't trying to do all that right now. So right off the bat, you could tell he's trying to set the tone to let people know Reason is over here blaming the label, telling people why he ain't where he's at. But the reason why he ain't where he wants to be is because he does not have the music. He does not have the hits. He does not have the motion. Maybe it's a lack of personality. He said Dave Free, before he left, he told us not to sign you. He called you a substitute teacher, meaning you got all the talent. It takes way more than talent to succeed in the music business today. That's basically what he was saying, you know what I mean? Like, yo, you got the raps, you got the everything, you got the package, bro, but people just have not gravitated to you. You don't have that it factor that everybody's looking for. So sometimes you're not a top priority because we know we're not going to make a lot of money off your projects. Now, Moosa did not go in intense detail to say those things, but he definitely alluded towards those things. He then began to question reason or logic by saying, what is an ESTG feature gonna do for your career? What is a Doechii feature gonna do for your career? What is a SZA feature gonna do for your career? Basically stating you're gonna be in the same position that you're in right now, even with those features, because the songs are not gonna pop, you know? And this is a tough thing because as an artist signed to a label, they sign you because they supposedly believe in you. They want to take you to the next level. They want to ride with you and, you know, be those in the driver's seat to help you get to your destination. So it's interesting to see somebody that's the president of TDE calling in on a stream to berate his own artist and basically tell him that you're not moving out in the streets. People are not checking for you. The people you're sitting next to right now don't even know your songs, and that's the root of your issue. I think this is a lot to take in. Reason was very cool about it. You know, it wasn't like he sat down and folded. He was willing to have a conversation. He asked Moosa, do you want to have a conversation, or is this a situation where you're just trying to go viral? Because I came to y'all with plenty of music. You can't say I don't have the quality of music, because the same EPs that y'all turned down ended up making this album that y'all decided to put out. So it's not like it's different music. Y'all just have been suppressing my art. Basically, he feels like TDE will never come out and just explicitly admit that sometimes they drop the ball. Sometimes they let an artist linger for too long before they drop their next project. Sometimes they make mistakes, right? And he's not trying to say that they make nothing but mistakes and nothing goes well. He was just saying, yo, I came into this interview. T-Rail got straight to the issue, asking me why my album's dropping out of nowhere, why I don't have a rollout, why things seem to be rushed in this moment with an album dropping on Friday. He's asking me these questions. If y'all want me to lie, tell me to lie when I do my press run, but I'm gonna be honest about it because that's who I am. Reason expressed numerous times throughout the interview that it's not that he does not want to be on TDE. It's not that he's asking to leave. He said there's nowhere else that he would rather be. If he had to do his career all over again, it would lead to the same situation, the same doors, TDE. That's his home, that's his family. But he was just trying to pinpoint, yo, y'all are not perfect. Y'all are not infallible. Y'all make mistakes. And a lot of the mistakes that are happening, I feel are happening to me, where other people are able to thrive. Other people are allowed to put out records. Other people have been upstreamed. That's another thing that Reason does not have working in his favor, is he's one of the only artists directly signed to TDE at this time. Everybody else that came out through TDE that made a big splash ended up having a major label deal. Right? When Kendrick came out, yeah, he was doing mixtapes and albums that were available on iTunes through TDE. When he dropped Good Kid, Mad City, that was with Interscope and Aftermath, right? With Dre and them involved. So now they had a lot more marketing dollars, a lot more firepower to help him succeed. When it came to Schoolboy Q, I think Schoolboy Q even released through Interscope. When it came to J-Rock, I believe he also upstreamed after a few years when it was time for him to drop that big album with Win 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 and all that stuff on it. That was also via Interscope. When we look at SZA, like I said, she's got the power of RCA behind her. When we look at Doechii right now, even she's been upstream to Columbia to piggyback off of what TDE did for her first couple of songs. Reason's on his second album now. Reason has a lot of dope singles. He has a lot of dope records, but he's still signed to TDE directly. And TDE as a company is more of a management group / independent label. So they're not putting the entire budget into him. They're not going to put all of their resources into him the same way that these bigger companies can. Why would they not do that? Because they're going to be coming out of pocket to make sure that Reason pops. And if they don't make that money back, it's going to put Reason at a deficit with the same label that manages him. So that could be an extreme conflict of interest, and it's only going to lead to even more disgruntled employee type activity, which I think they've been trying to avoid, and just let Reason put out his records, put out his albums, let him drop every couple years, you know what I'm saying? He's a loss leader at the company. He doesn't really make a lot of money, but we believed in him, we signed him, so we're going to let him go and do his thing. His previous album that he dropped, he wasn't able to tour because of COVID, so I just feel like he's had a pretty bad shake. Like the way the ball has dropped, the way that luck has formed in the early parts of his career, things haven't seemed to have lined up the way that they need to in order to catapult him to that next level. But again, there still is that it factor that I think Reason is missing. People haven't really cared what he has going on. He's had viral moments where he said things about people. It hasn't really turned into interest in his music, and he makes good music. So I really just think he's sitting in between a rock and a hard place. I hope things get better for Reason. I hope this album is able to turn some things around for him. I have no doubt that the album's going to be good because he's talented. He's a dope rapper. He's a dope artist, dope writer. I don't think there's going to be any lack in quality of music. But, I mean, we saw Ab-Soul. He put his album out directly through TDE as well after taking a very long hiatus. I mean, I think there was a masterful rollout. I think they did everything the right way with Ab-Soul. I mean, they put out like 3 or 4 singles prior to him dropping. Ab-Soul doesn't have an extremely huge fan base, but I think his real fan base showed up and showed out, probably bought the album more so than streamed it, so there was probably money made. And I think Reason is probably going to be following in the footsteps of an Ab-Soul type of artist. When TDE used to be touring and documenting their South by Southwest experiences and stuff like that, they always used to say Ab-Soul ain't eating. He was making the least money because Kendrick and Schoolboy Q was out there already having major label deal, getting the big money. Ab-Soul was still signed to TDE directly. J-Rock was still signed to TDE directly. They had to wait for their turn. I feel like Reason is still sitting in that same seat, unfortunately. Let me know what y'all think of this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the post notification bell for all updates, and I will see y'all on the next one, all right? Much love and respect, y'all. Peace!